Marco's, we're piling on the toppings. Try our award-winning white cheesy pizza, stacked with flavors like feta and bacon. It's white pizza the Marco's way. Or our Meat Supremo, loaded with more Italian meats than you can imagine. With so many toppings, there's never a boring bite.
I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that.
I can fix that.
Can you fix this? I can fix that.
For the best service on your desktop and laptop computers, from hardware to software problems, Quality Computer Systems always has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, Quality Computer Systems.
The Downey Law Firm understands what happens when you've been injured in a car wreck. Attorney Jason Downey used to work for insurance companies, and he's helped injured victims obtain millions of dollars for their injuries. Whether you're in Macon, Valdosta, Atlanta, or anywhere in between, the Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Give them a call today at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Well, it's football time in the South, and that means we're rolling toward the greatest time of the year. No, not just football. It's almost time for hunting season 2. And if you're in the market for a new rifle, there's no better place than Classic Firearms, located at 3780 Northside Drive, right here in Macon, across from the Wellness Center. Whether you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a new concealed carry pistol, now is the time to go see Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff at Classic Firearms. They have everything from weapons to accessories to ammunition. So call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports. The following is a presentation of the Digital Sports Broadcasting Network. And good evening, everybody, and welcome into another Thursday night of Gridiron Gab. I am Russell Deast, and we're glad to have you with us here on a Thursday night as we get ready for another weekend of high school and college football. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. We're going to talk about last week in the SEC, and we're certainly going to talk about what's coming up this week in the SEC. Our Classic Firearms Pick'em contest this week is the Florida Gators as they travel up to Rocky Top to take on the undefeated Tennessee Volunteers. That is going to be our pick'em game for this week, so we'll get your calls in shortly. But right now, before we go any further, let's go to the phones and let's welcome in the head coach of the Lincoln County Red Devils, Kevin Banks, as he gets ready for tomorrow's night against Mark Farabah and the Stratford Eagles in our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. And Coach Banks, thank you for taking a little time and joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank y'all guys for having me, man.
All right, Coach. So now I know you got your eye on a little bit of JV football this afternoon, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir. We just finishing up now. Yes, finishing up. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the start of the season. First of all, let's tell folks a little bit about you. You took over for the legendary Larry Campbell over at Lincoln 3 years ago. Last year, I believe your squad went 9-2. This year, you're off to a 2-0-1 start. Give us a quick recap on what's going on with the Red Devils so far this year.
We started out pretty quick. We got a lot of guys back from last year. We started out with McCormick out of South Carolina. Then we played a 6A school out of Augusta named Grovetown. They got a pretty good football team.
Yeah, they do.
And then last week we played the number 1 team in AA out of South Carolina, Abbeville. They won the state championship last year in football and basketball. Great program. Coach Nichols does a great job over there, and we lucky to get away with a tie right there.
Well, Coach, you opened up against McCormick out of South Carolina with a 41-0 victory. That's a good way to get the season started any way you look at it. And then 6A Grovetown, they came in and you got that game 14-7. And as you said, Abbeville last week rolled in number 1 in AA in South Carolina, and you blocked a field goal with under 20 seconds to go, and that ended at a tie. And I know some people will say, well, why didn't they go to overtime? Well, Yeah, a South Carolina school and a Georgia school, if you don't talk about it and decide to do it before the game, you're just not going to do it. It's not going to affect your season really that much playing a team out of South Carolina like that if it ends in a tie instead of going to overtime.
It was such a hard-fought game. Me and Coach Nichols just decided to end it, man. I was worried about somebody getting hurt.
Right.
I mean, it was just a hard-fought football game.
Well, Coach, looking at your stats defensively, you guys and I, we're going to talk about your offense here in a minute, but defensively, you guys have only given up an average 266 yards rushing and 132 yards to the air. You got to be pretty proud of what that defense has done against some really quality competition in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, we played lights out on defense. We got a lot of guys back on defense, and we still only have 3 seniors on defense. Coach Ellis is the defense coordinator, and we've done a super job over there, man, of preparing kids and getting them ready.
Well, Coach, talk a little bit about, let's move over to the offensive ball. Let's talk about your quarterback, junior Javon Reed. He comes in 180 yards rushing, passing rather, and 182 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. But he spread the ball around, passing the ball to 6 different receivers in these first 3 games. He's controlling your offense. A guy's obviously not making a lot of mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. A guy that's leading your team. And, sometimes you look, I know guys like to look at numbers. I like to look at a guy that's not making a lot of mistakes.
Yes, sir. That's the key to playing quarterback is not turning the ball over. And so far, I think he's thrown 1 interception. He's done a tremendous job. We was a lean two football team last year, so we got a lot of athletes, so we came down and make a decision. We need to try to get all our athletes on the field at one time, so that's why we went to the spread. Javon has did an outstanding job of playing quarterback.
All right, and in the backfield, you've got sophomore running back Quay Hartfield. He's already rushed for 190 yards, right at 3 touchdowns. Guy's averaging 9.3 yards every time he gets the ball stuck in his gut. That's called production there, Coach. That's what you're looking for out of your running back.
Tremendous football player. He's one of the hardest workers that we got. He's done everything we asked him to do, and hopefully he'll be ready tomorrow.
All right, Coach, and you also got Jamal Norman that's rushed it 17 times, right at 100 yards for you. Tell us your offensive set again that you're running this year.
We're running the spread offense. The true heroes on our offense, though, is we got 5 guys up front and 4 of them are seniors.
Right.
And the thing about all that is out of the four seniors, all of them are probably top 5% of the class. I mean, we got some real outstanding young men up front. Not only football players, but great athletes and great students.
Well, I'm a firm believer you don't win anything in football without it happening up front first. You can have the greatest guy, and I'll give you a good parallel right there to that is, you look at Nick Chubb, his production slowed the last couple of weeks for Georgia, and I think it's because of line play at Georgia, and we're going to discuss that with some of our callers later tonight. But there's probably not a better running back in the country than Nick Chubb, and when the offensive line is getting pushed around a little bit, he can't go anywhere. But I always believe you got to have your smart guys on the offensive line and the mean ones on the defensive line.
There you go.
All right, Coach. So now, Lincoln County has not graced the presence of Macon, Georgia, a whole lot in their history. You came here a couple of years ago to play FPD, and I read an article over in Lincoln County this week. That's the first time they had played in Macon since 1976 when they came over to play Mount DeSales, who was playing in the GHSA, or Georgia High School Association, back then. And we're excited about you coming Friday night. Talk about what you've got, what you look forward to out of this Stratford team, coached by Mark Faribault, as you come into Stratford on Friday night.
Well, the last time we played Coach Faribault in Stratford was a couple years ago when he came up here. And the game went down to the last second of the game. Our Coach Faribault football team will be ready to play. I told my kids they'll be ready to play. They're not going to beat themselves. Good, fundamentally sound football team. Coach John Rowland again. They look real good on film. Landmark Christian was lucky to get a W out of that because I thought maybe Stafford moved the ball better than Landmark did, but we got our hands full, I can tell you that.
Well, Coach, we're excited to have you here, and I certainly appreciate it. And I know you had a busy schedule tonight, and we're glad to introduce you to the Macon audience, and of course we're on the internet, so anybody can see it. But we're really looking forward to seeing the Red Devils come here on Friday night and being a part of our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. And for your fans that doesn't travel, just tell them to go to dsbnsports.com, and we'll have the game broadcast in full HD, and looking forward to a great football game tomorrow night.
I sure will. Thank y'all guys for having me, man.
All right, Coach. Best of luck to you tomorrow night. We'll see you on Friday at Stratford.
Okay, Coach.
Okay, thank you. That was Coach Kevin Banks, the head coach of the undefeated Lincoln County Red Devils, as they get ready to come into town to take on the Stratford Eagles live from Eagles Nest. Tomorrow night, we'll have the pregame at 7:15. Game will kick off at 7:30. Our first HD broadcast. We're really looking forward to it. When we come back, we're going to jump into the SEC and the Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest. Your calls tonight at 478-254-6310. It's time to talk the Gators and the Vols and the Dogs and the Ole Miss Rebels when we come back. You're listening to Gridiron Gab on DSBNsports.com. We'll be back after this timeout.
You wanted it back, so we're bringing it back. Marco's Grilled Chicken Florentine Pizza. We start with dough made fresh in our stores every day. Then top it with Parmesan garlic sauce, grilled chicken, 4 cheeses, including feta, and of course, garden fresh spinach. For a limited time, get Marco's large grilled chicken Florentine or any of our specialty chicken pizzas for just $12.99. Order online at marcos.com.
You guys did a great job on my computer. Can you fix this?
We do work on cell phones. We fix tablets and game consoles. Yeah, we can fix that. What happened?
I don't know.
The best prices and the best service. Quality Computer Systems has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, call the Downey Law Firm in Macon, Georgia. Attorney Jason Downey focuses on personal injury matters and has fought to recover millions of dollars for his clients. The Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Visit their website today, DowneyLawGA.com, or give them a call at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Hey guys, I know that we can sit around and talk about football and firearms and hunting all day long, but right now I want to speak to the ladies in the audience. The fastest growing segment of firearm purchasers and owners in our country is now women. So ladies, when it comes time for you to make a decision about your first or your next firearm purchase, trust the staff at Classic Firearms. Located at 3780 Northside Drive, just across from the Wellness Center, let Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff assist you in this very important decision. From firearms to ammunition to accessories, trust the fine folks at Classic Firearms. Call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports.
It's a pepperoni celebration. Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico Pizza. Made with 2 kinds of mouth-watering pepperoni. Zesty Classic and our authentic thick-cut Old World. Cooked till the edges curl in crispy perfection. And for big flavor in every bite, the crust is finished with garlic butter, spices, and Parmesan cheese.
Tonight's DSBN presentation of Gridiron Gab is brought to you by Marco's Pizza, Quality Computers, Classic Firearms, the Downey Law Firm, You Park 'em, You Sell 'em, Kudzu Seafood, the Macon Touchdown Club, BT Media Productions, Middle Georgia State University, and Twain's Restaurant. And good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Gridiron Gab. I am Russell Deese, and we were joined just a few minutes ago by the head coach of the Lincoln County Red Devils, and that was none other than Kevin Banks. as they get ready to be a part of our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week tomorrow night, and that will be brought to you live in HD from the Eagles Nest over at Stratford Academy, and we are really looking forward to that game. I want to thank all our sponsors again real quick. Marco's Pizza, Quality Computers, Classic Firearms, the Downey Law Firm, New Park and Musellum, Kudzu Seafood, Macon Touchdown Club, BT Media Productions, Middle Georgia State University, and Twanks. Don't forget Monday night at the Macon Touchdown Club, our guest speaker will be Tyson Summers, the new head coach of the undefeated Georgia Southern Eagles, and he'll be flying into town to tell us about the Eagles on Monday night. Dinner starts at 6:30, and the program soon to follow. We'll honor our back lineman and special teams player of the week, and of course, we'll have a high school this week that we always have a spotlight on. And I don't have that, but I'll get that for the programs out here. Our high school spotlight this week. And, of course, you're welcome to come. We'd love to have you join us. Guest fees are just $30 for the program. We'll have a live auction. We'll have a raffle table with all kind of goodies to give away. But no more goodies than we'll have here for you tonight for the Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest, which will have over $70 worth of prizes. Hey, you want to get in this week now because this is going to be one of the last qualifying weeks for the grand prize, which is going to be the $600 choice of a shotgun, either a tactical or a hunting shotgun, 12 gauge at the end of the year. And that, of course, is presented by Classic Firearms and Buddy Webb and those guys over there. If you're in need for any kind of ammunition, accessories, if you're looking for a new deer rifle, we got hunting season coming up. Hey, it's dove season. You tired of that old gun? You'll get you another one. You'll shoot the birds better, I promise you, with a new gun. But whatever your needs be, if you're looking for a concealed carry, a weapon, or just some insight and professionalism, or you got guns that you want to sell, or you need some work done on any of your firearms, please go see Classic Firearms, Buddy Webb and his crew right over on Northside Drive, or visit them online, classicfirearmsga.com. All right, let's run down the schedule this week. 12 o'clock kickoff. Kent State is at number 1 Alabama. Shouldn't be much of a problem for Saban and Kiffin and the crew over there. Bama's young quarterback looks really good, getting better each week, look good. At Ole Miss last week, speaking of Ole Miss, they take on the Dogs at 12 o'clock. That is the early game. Georgia's going to travel to Oxford. Georgia's ranked number 12. Ole Miss ranked number 23. We'll see how that one's going to come out. 3:30, Mississippi State plays Massachusetts. I think that's on the SEC network. Then the big one, 19th-ranked Florida goes in to Rocky Top to take on number 14, the Tennessee Volunteers. That is our Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest. Want to get your calls at 478-254-6310. You got to pick the winner and the score to qualify for the prizes this week. Lost my computer again. Vanderbilt plays Western Kentucky. Number 18, LSU comes in and plays Auburn. That game is 6 o'clock. That is on ESPN. 7:30 is South Carolina and Kentucky. Boy, that one's going to be tough to watch. I don't know about that game either. And then Arkansas and Texas A&M at 9 o'clock, and that's going to be a really good game, I think, to watch too. And that's going to set the tone for the rest of the season to both of those clubs. Looking at Tennessee and Florida this week, Tennessee is going to be without Darren Kirkland. Their starting linebacker, Jalen Reeves, is also probably going to be out. He had 13 tackles alone against Virginia Tech. And defensive back Cameron Sutton also not expected to play. So, Tennessee's got some injuries. And then on the other side, Luke Del Rio, he's gone for this game, probably 3 weeks. Austin Appleby's going to have to come in. Coming in this week, he's only completed 2 passes for a total of 30 yards. So a tall task for young Mr. Appleby to go up to Knoxville and face the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee on the other side has been rather sluggish. Their best game was against Virginia Tech. They started off in a game they should have lost opening night to Appalachia State, 20-13. Then they come back, and in the first quarter and a half, we were really bad against Virginia Tech. But in the end, they steamrolled the Hokies 45-24. And then last week, 28-19, I believe, was the final over Ohio. And I think their defensive coordinator said it was the greatest victory he's ever been a part of. So I'm not for sure how that spells for the Volunteers as well, too. It's going to be about Joshua Dobbs. 45 of 75, 500 yards, 6 touchdown passes, but he's also got 3 interceptions, so he has not played great. Jalen Hurd only has 270 yards on 65 rushes, only a 4.2 carry. So Dobbs and Hurd have been carrying the offense. Alvin Kamara has been in there a little bit. He's got less than 100 yards on the ground. Josh Malone, the big wideout, is going to be key to it as well for him. Preston Williams. So they got some people they throw the ball to, but it comes down to Dobbs and Jalen Hurd for the Tennessee Volunteers on how their night is going to go. On the other side of it, the Florida Gators, they also come in undefeated. They beat UMass 24-7. They annihilated Kentucky, the same thing they've done for 30 years, 45-7. And then last week, North Texas 32-0. But I think it was only a 16 or a 19-0 game in the third quarter when Luke Del Rio got hurt on something that got Jim McElwain really fired up about. They had to restrain him going across the field to keep him from trying to grab hold of somebody from North Texas. But the Gators in the Tennessee Vols, that's our pick'em contest. The Dogs have got to travel to Ole Miss. That's going to be interesting. Nick Chubb now 71 rushes, a little less than 400 yards so far this year. Only 3 touchdowns. Now remember that 360 yards, he had one run of about 60 yards against North Carolina. So the Dogs' offensive line's got to wake up a little bit, and they're going to have to keep the pressure off Jacob Eason. The opposing teams, just like Missouri, they simply said, look, you're not going to beat us with Nick Chubb. You're not going to beat us with, Isaiah McKenzie or Sony Michel. You're going to have to beat us with your freshman quarterback. He showed up in the fourth quarter and got the job done for the Georgia Bulldogs. He's got a little taller task than he had last week in Missouri this week as he goes on to take the Rebels down in Oxford. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll get your calls for the Classic Firearms Pick'em contest. It's Florida and Tennessee. We need the winner and the score, and then we also want to hear you talk about the other games in the SEC, specifically Georgia and Ole Miss. We'll be back after these timeouts.
At Quality Computers, we're known for our service, whether locally for our in-store and on-site service, or nationally with our remote service or Quality Care Suite. But we also have the largest selection of computers in stock in Middle Georgia, whether that is new desktops or new laptops or refurbished desktops and laptops. We also carry all-in-ones and convertibles.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
I've always wanted this. You have too. It's waiting to be unleashed.
It's in all of us. Greatness. Dreams and passions become reality.
Greatness is where your hard work and dedication pay off. Greatness. It's shaking hands with your future. Middle Georgia State University. Find your greatness.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue. The Macon Touchdown Club begins its 71st season on September the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue. Join us again this year as we celebrate football fun and fellowship. Among our featured speakers this year will be former Georgia head coach Ray Goff, former Virginia Tech legend Frank Beamer, University of Georgia legend Lauren Smith, and former head coach of the Auburn Tigers Pat Dye, along with many others. Each Monday night starting at 6:30, that's the Macon Touchdown Club. Visit us online at MaconTouchdownClub.com.
I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that.
I can fix that.
Can you fix this?
I can fix that.
For the best service on your desktop and laptop computers, from hardware to software problems, Quality Computer Systems always has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer Computer Systems.
The Downey Law Firm understands what happens when you've been injured in a car wreck. Attorney Jason Downey used to work for insurance companies, and he's helped injured victims obtain millions of dollars for their injuries. Whether you're in Macon, Valdosta, Atlanta, or anywhere in between, the Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Give them a call today at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Well, it's football time in the South, and that means we're rolling toward the greatest time of the year. No, not just football. It's almost time for hunting season 2. And if you're in the market for a new rifle, there's no better place than Classic Firearms, located at 3780 Northside Drive, right here in Macon, across from the Wellness Center. Whether you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a new concealed carry pistol, now is the time to go see Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff at Classic Firearms. They have everything from weapons to accessories to ammunition. So call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports. Welcome back to Gridiron Gab. It's time for the Classic Firearms Pigskin Pick'em Contest. Call right now with your pick of this week's game. And welcome back to another Thursday edition of Gridiron Gab. Glad to have you with us here. If I get my tongue untied, we'll get it right here in just a second. We were opening up the show tonight with Kevin Banks, the head coach of the Lincoln County Red Devils. They are part of our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week tomorrow night, and that is at Stratford Academy, and it'll be the once beaten Stratford Eagles in a very close game that they lost earlier in the year, taking on 2 win and 1 tie, but undefeated Lincoln County, and that's going to be a great game tomorrow night right here as our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week on DSBN Sports. But tonight, the Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest is the Florida Gators as they travel to Knoxville to take on the Tennessee Volunteers in a key game for Butch Jones as well as Jim McElwain and the Florida Gators, as they will be without their starting quarterback, Luke Del Rio, who's already accounted for almost 800 yards of passing and 6 touchdowns. But let's go to the phones and get our first caller of the night, and we welcome in who? Hello?
BB Dog.
BB Dog. What's up, baby?
I got a little, sitting out here on deck, enjoying this beautiful weather, ready to watch it. Hopefully a pretty good college football game.
Clemson and Georgia Tech up at the Flats tonight. Is that going to be much of a game, or is Clemson going to go? Wow. Well, I'm pulling for Paul Johnson and the Yellow Jackets tonight.
Oh, I am too. I've already posted. I did a check-in on the dog deck, tailgate, for the Jackets.
All right. Well, you missed.
Let me give you a little, I don't know what's going on. Dawn wanted to watch our call from her iPhone 5 or whatever and my iPad.
Yeah.
You can't just type in Gridiron Gab. You can.
Yeah, you just go to.
The screen is different from when I do it on my iPhone 6, where I just hit Watch Live.
All right. Is this a? All right.
The other 2 things, it doesn't work.
Okay. I don't know that. And is she going to the tab that says Gridiron Gab?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it for her twice. See, I put you easy on the phone because I just tab from your text.
Right.
And you put your URL or whatever on my text.
Right. And she can't do that.
Well, she doesn't have all that. We didn't write all that down.
Well, just forward the text.
No, that's what's on your back.
Right. Yeah. No. Well, no. She's got to go to dsbnsports.com.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the new website. I didn't know this was going to be an IT call. It's DSBN. Listen. You're making this difficult. Go to dsbnsports.com, click on the Gridiron Gab tab, roll down, and hit the play. That's all she's got to do.
Okay.
All right.
Don't worry about that next time.
No, she can do it now.
Well, I'm out on the deck. She's inside.
Okay. All right. Well, I just didn't want to miss out on all this quality programming and research I had done for show prep today. All right. So, what do you want to talk about first? The Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest or your dogs? I'll go either way with you. Which one you want?
I'm going to let you pick.
Okay. Well, let's start with Georgia. Last week goes on the road to Missouri, can't run the football again, and the young gunslinger, as I saw put on Facebook last week. It's a little early for the monikers, I think, but he brought them back and got it done. Just as the week before against Nichols was not a good game, but a teachable moment. I think last week will bolster his enthusiasm and confidence, at least till he shows up in Oxford on Saturday afternoon, early Saturday afternoon.
Exactly, and I've been watching Feinbaum, and some dude called in and said, these early kickoffs favor the visiting team. And they went into a little spiel about it. Maybe a little stability with that, but I wouldn't take a whole lot into it. Of course, now, I guess maybe what they're thinking about they didn't really mention would be the fan base. Again, 11 a.m., there's going to be people over there partaking, if you will, but it's not going to be anything like a 3:30 or a night game. That's certain for sure. But, again, it's 12 here, but 11 a.m. there. I've joked with some buddies that are going. I'm like, man, why don't y'all just tailgate all night? Why ain't bothered with bed? But we're a complete work in progress. Jeff Dansley, who's one of the editors of Bulldog Illustrated, has us ranked 23 in the country. Where the rest of everybody has us what, 12, 11, whatever.
Well, I looked at one, and let me go back and look at this. Somebody had you ranked even higher than that. Maybe it was 12, but
I think we're
12.
In both polls this week we're 12.
Listen, I think the next 2 weeks wash out the SEC. Not completely, but you go from contenders to pretenders. And, listen, it's not going to be an easy task. I was just talking about Nick Chubb. 71 rushes, 365 yards total on the season. 3 touchdowns is what he's got. And he got 2 of those at North Carolina. Is that correct, or just 1? I think he got 2 in them. 2. And of those 365 yards, 57.
22 in North Carolina.
Yeah, and 55 of it was on 1 run. So, you and I talked over the last week or 2 weeks, Brett, and it's the offensive line. That's where the work's got to come, and Kirby Smart knows that. But they gave him enough last week in the pass protection to to get the job done. What do you think they're going to have? What do you think's going to happen down in Oxford this week?
Oh man, I'm just waffle back and forth. For some crazy reason, I think we're going to win another sleeper. I don't even ask me why. The only way we're going to win, the way I tell most people, is we play. I don't know that we've got to play a perfect game, but we've got to play pretty freaking good. We've got to play as at least good as the North Carolina game. But then again, Ole Miss, their kids, as you well know, their confidence cannot be very great going into this game. You had the Florida State debacle, and now that loss looks really worse than it was, possibly, with the shellacking they took up in Papa John's Stadium.
But then you look at the way they played Alabama. Even when Alabama got up big in the fourth quarter, they didn't give up. They almost came back and tied that game and had a chance to win it. And I don't know. You may be right. Psychologically, and hopefully we'll hear from our Ole Miss guy Davey Keys later on tonight and his thoughts on the Rebels. But that I think they're going to be the best offensive team without a doubt Georgia's seen so far, and maybe the best defensive team Georgia's seen so far.
No, there's no question. They're 1 and 2, and they're still ranked for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They've got the players. They've had a couple of meltdowns, I guess you could say. I don't know, and I don't know where we are. I kind of lean towards Danzler and saying we're maybe in the 23, 24 range of rankings. I don't know. But I still have hope that offensive line can somehow gel and make some hope, because in some there's no cutback to it. If they're not blocking them where there's a cutback lane, I don't know, man. It's like a sputtering, sluggish machine. It's frustrating to watch, that's for sure. But the average Joe watching the game last Saturday night, it was exciting as it could be.
Oh yeah, I know the Georgia folks were coming out of their chairs at the end of it. It was a heck of a throw. He threw a bullet in the corner of the end zone. and you're on the road. I don't care who you're playing. It's the SEC. You're behind. You're on the road, and your freshman quarterback led you down the field to victory. That's big for the team. That's big for the individual player. And the coaches, they swallowed a big knot in their throat to get out of there with the win. Interesting stat on Ole Miss. The thing about Chad Kelly, he hadn't his yards per attempt are under 9 yards, but he's thrown the ball to 12 different receivers. Is that going to be a problem for the Georgia secondary?
Well, our secondary is going to be tested beyond belief. But I just read, and I knew it because I've watched. He throws picks. If we can put any kind of pressure on the guy, any at all, I think we'll fix him fast. Our secondary gets burned, but we also pick the ball off. We've got, even with the stupidity of not scoring a single point off 5 turnovers last weekend, we're still like a +3 turnovers. Considering what I just said, that's incredible.
Yeah, and the other thing is, now I can't remember the guy that was there before Chad Kelly at Ole Miss. He was another prolific passer for Fritz. Hugh Freeze. Bo Wallace, thank you.
Yeah, Bo Wallace.
Producer over there got that in. Bo Wallace. Bo Wallace would get scalding hot and just eat you alive. But if he was off, he was an interception machine, even more so than Chad Kelly. But the one thing I noticed about Kelly, even having it when if he gets in a bad place in the game, he seems to be able to find a way to work himself out of it. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't enough against Ole Miss and Alabama to come back, but he continued to stay in there and fight. I'm just wondering if Georgia can score with him.
Yeah, I've read, here's my take. I think they're either going to literally blow us out of the stadium or mailbox. But if I had to predict the next 2 weeks, my gut kind of telling me we lose in Oxford and then we beat Tennessee in that.
Well,
with my pick'em contest, pick is right this second. That would eliminate the balls with what I'm going to do.
Okay, so let's talk about Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee's got some defensive guys out, 3 starters on defense, but Florida loses Luke Del Rio, their quarterback, and they're going to start Austin Appleby, who's only thrown 5 times the whole year. Tennessee, of course, it comes down to Josh Dobbs at quarterback and Jalen Hurd, the running back. Is Florida going to have enough weapons to stay in the game with Tennessee offensively up in Knoxville? That's the question to me. Yeah. Florida's got to get enough defense to play with anybody probably. The question is, can their offense keep pace with Tennessee if Tennessee's offense shows up like they did in the second half of the Virginia Tech game?
Right. You talk about 2 orange teams that I absolutely hate, but I actually versus most Georgia fans, I hate Tennessee worse than I hate Florida. There's no question. It's not even close. But I'm not going to pick the game on that side.
Oh, you're not going to pick with emotion here? Come on now.
No, it's just back and forth. I've been, since a couple hours ago watching the Feinbaum show, I've been back and forth with who to pick the whole time.
Okay, listen, you got to quit.
Do you break the streak or do you extend the streak?
I don't know yet. What are they, 11 in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's time for that streak to end. I'm just telling you.
Dude called in and said, I've got an 11-year-old kid. Not that he would remember, but ever since he was born, we've never won the game. Okay, but it's kind of a different perspective on it.
All right, and listen,
I'm not going to do it. I high school for the Gators, baby. Gators 24-17.
24-17 Gators over the Tennessee Vols.
It continues. And then Tennessee will be out of the East race after we win next week. Bye-bye.
Well, that's going to be interesting because you know what the Classic Firearms Pick'em contest is going to be next week. You know what it's going to be.
Well, I'm telling you, if they lose this weekend, and then we beat them, they're out of it.
Okay, well, 2 things before you go. Don't call me with any more IT calls, and don't be promoting somebody else's show.
I haven't said a word about my show.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the bald-headed guy up in Carolina up there.
Oh, come on, man.
It's all about Roll Tide with him. All right, let me go to this other call. I'm getting you out.
We'll be there live next Thursday.
Next Thursday at Marco's Pizza on the deck on Riverside Drive. See you. All right, so Brad picks it 24-17. We do not have that score. We've got a lot of scores already called in to us or emailed in, so we're waiting for your score. And tonight, it is the Florida Gators and the Tennessee Volunteers. So what we'll do is we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get your calls. 478-254-6310. It's the Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest on Gridiron Gab here on DSPNSports.com. We'll be back.
You wanted it back, so we're bringing it back. Marco's Grilled Chicken Florentine Pizza. We start with dough made fresh in our stores every day. Then top it with Parmesan garlic sauce, grilled chicken, 4 cheeses, including feta, and of course, garden fresh spinach. For a limited time, get Marco's large grilled chicken Florentine or any of our specialty chicken pizzas for just $12.99. Order online at marcos.com.
You guys did a great job on my computer. Can you fix this?
We do work on cell phones. We fix tablets and game consoles. Yeah, we can fix that. What happened?
I don't know.
The best prices and the best service. Quality Computer Systems has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
Welcome back to Gridiron Gab. It's time for the Classic Firearms Pigskin Pick'em Contest. Call right now with your pick of this week's game. And welcome back on another Thursday night. We are live from U Park and Salem. Don't forget, next week we will be at Marco's Pizza on the deck on Riverside Drive. We'll be there live from 6:30 to 8. We invite you to come out and have some pizza with us. Heck, we might even put you on the air live. We'd love to. We have a big game next week for our Pick'em Contest, for the Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest. I want to remind you one more time tomorrow night. It's the Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week live from Stratford Academy as the Eagles get ready to take on Lincoln County. Our game tonight for the Classic Firearms Pick'em Contest is Florida and Tennessee. And let's go back to the phone lines, and who have we got? Trevor. I finally got you in. You know, you were getting close here. This is qualifying weekends to get in on the Pick'em Contest to win that shotgun at the end of the year.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. Okay. I know you're a big dog fan, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let's first of all talk about tonight's game. Tech and Clemson. What do you think's going to happen up on the flats up in Hot Atlanta tonight? Tech got a shot?
Well, they got home field, and I think they're pumped up, but I don't think they've got enough firepower. I mean, from what I've seen Clemson do this year, I don't think it'll be that big of a spread as what Vegas has. But I think if I had to pick a score on that game, I'd say it would be Clemson 20, Tech 17.
All right, so it may be a good game. That kicks off at, is that 7:30 kickoff tonight? Yeah. I believe that is.
I think 7:30, 7:45. You can never tell. It's going away to the network goes.
All right, Trevor. Now let's go back to last week and talk about Georgia and Missouri. Your thoughts on that game? We've had some folks talk early this year this early part of the season. Georgia's struggling to run the football, but Jacob Eason found a way to bring that football team back and get a tough win on the road.
Well, they're just their offensive line is not coordinated. They just are not opening any holes for the running back. And I mean, they won that game Saturday on calls and luck. You know, how many times you win a game 4th and 20 and you run out of time and you make a touchdown?
Well, and that's true. But now one thing they have provided is Jacob Eason in that game. On that final drive in the last two series of that, really in that game, they found a way to protect him, and he found a way to get it to the open receivers. And that winning touchdown pass back in the corner of the end zone, that was a pretty pass. I mean, yeah, that shows you the talent of this kid.
That was no doubt. He's got a strong arm, and he has good coordination on where his receivers are supposed to be. So.
All right. So, Trevor, the thoughts this week, early game, they travel to Oxford, Mississippi to take on the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss has faced some stiff competition already this year in Alabama and Florida State. They lost both of those games, but they proved they can put points up on the board. What's the keys to that game, and what do you feel like Georgia's going to be able to do in Oxford? Does it help that it's an 11 o'clock kickoff for Georgia instead of mid-afternoon or a night game down in Oxford?
I don't think the time of day is going to have that much influence on it. I think Georgia they've got to come out and make a statement. They can't just be wishy-washy, push it down the field, kick a field goal, then give up a field goal or a touchdown. They've got to get off the bus with an attitude. Because we saw what Mississippi had. I mean, we were watching that game. We were watching parts of it, and I mean, going into the fourth quarter, it was anybody's ball game.
Well, one thing about it, when Chad Kelly gets hot, he can take the Rebels down the field in a hurry and put some points on the board. A little bit of concern about him turning the ball over or dropping it on the ground and throwing a pick. I think, as we talked with Brett a second ago, I think this is probably the best defense Georgia has faced all year, even better than the North Carolina defense.
Well, like I say, I think Georgia needs to make a statement early, and they're going to have to open that line and let Chubb show what he's got,
All right, Trevor, let's move on to Florida and Tennessee, our classic firearms pick'em contest. Give me your thoughts on that game. Florida without their starting quarterback. Tennessee's probably got three guys out on the defensive side of the ball. Is Florida going to have enough with the backup quarterback to go up to Knoxville and keep the 11 in a row wins they've had over Tennessee and make it 12 in a row? You think they can go to Knoxville with the backup quarterback and get it done?
Well, I've been attempting to do my homework, and I've been listening and doing a little reading and, trying to take everything with a grain of salt. But even with the backup quarterback, this guy is competent. I don't think it's going to be an easy win. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I'm predicting it's going to be a fairly low score. I'd say if Florida will beat Tennessee 20-17.
Florida 20, the Vols 17. Everybody's got this relatively low-scoring game, except for one of our pickers who picked it 45-17. So Florida's going to go up there and play defense. We know they've got a good defense. And Tennessee has struggled on offense, so they're going to have to get it done. Here's the other thing. We've got some interesting notes about Butch Jones. 11 of his 21 wins at Tennessee have come against teams with records of under 500 and against foes that are ranked, opponents that have been ranked in the AP top 25. He's 3-13. So that's not a very good record for Butch Jones. I picked them to come out of their shell last year, and they couldn't get it done. I picked them this year, and then I watched them against App State almost get beat, and then they didn't look good in the first quarter and a half against Virginia Tech, and then they only struggled to beat Ohio at home last week, 28-19. You keep waiting for the quarterback Josh Dobbs and the running back Jalen Hurd to get on track, and it's not going to be easy to get on track against a Florida defense because Florida's coming up there with McElwain, and they can play defense. That's one thing we know about the Florida Gators.
Absolutely, and sports, all sports are stats. Every number, every temperature, every juke, every jag, it's all written in the record book. But I mean, the greatest euphemism of all time is on any given Sunday. So it's just how dedicated the boys are to play as to who wins the game.
Well, it's going to be interesting. So just for fun, tell me what you think the final in the Georgia Ole Miss game is going to be.
Ooh, I can't go there. It's too close to my heart.
Well, just go. Come on, give me a score. We won't hold you to it because next week you got to pick a really big game for the Dogs. I promise you next week.
I know, but I'm superstitious. Okay.
I got you. But you're picking the Florida Gators 20-17 over the Tennessee Vols. All right. We got you in the running, brother. We'll see how you shake it out this week.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Trevor. All right, your calls for the Classic Firearms Pick'em contest tonight at 478-254-6310. We'll take a timeout. We'll take some more calls when we come back. It's Florida and Tennessee. That's our pick this week. You're listening to Gridiron Gab on DSBNsports.com. We'll be back to this timeout.
I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that.
I can fix that.
Can you fix this?
I can fix that.
For the best service on your desktop and laptop computers, from hardware to software problems, Quality Computer Systems always has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, Quality Computer Systems.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue. The Macon Touchdown Club begins its 71st season on September the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue. Join us again this year as we celebrate football, fun, and fellowship. Among our featured speakers this year will be former Georgia head coach Ray Goff, former Virginia Tech legend Frank Beamer, University of Georgia legend Lauren Smith, and former head coach of the Auburn Tigers Pat Dye, along with many others. Each Monday night, starting at 6:30, that's the Macon Touchdown Club. Visit us online at MaconTouchdownClub.com.
At Marco's, we're piling on the toppings. Try our award-winning white cheesy pizza, stacked with flavors like feta and bacon. It's white pizza the Marco's way. Or our Meat Supremo, loaded with more Italian meats than you can imagine. With so many toppings, there's never a boring bite.
The Downey Law Firm understands what happens when you've been injured in a car wreck. Attorney Jason Downey used to work for insurance companies, and he's helped injured victims obtain millions of dollars for their injuries. Whether you're in Macon, Valdosta, Atlanta, or anywhere in between, the Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Give them a call today at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Well, it's football time in the South, and that means we're rolling toward the greatest time of the year. No, not just football. It's almost time for hunting season 2. And if you're in the market for a new rifle, there's no better place than Classic Firearms, located at 3780 Northside Drive, right here in Macon, across from the Wellness Center. Whether you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a new concealed carry pistol, now is the time to go see Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff at Classic Firearms. They have everything from weapons to accessories to ammunition. So call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports.
You wanted it back, so we're bringing it back. Marco's Grilled Chicken Florentine Pizza. We start with dough made fresh in our stores every day. Then top it with Parmesan garlic sauce, grilled chicken, 4 cheeses, including feta, and of course, garden fresh spinach. For a limited time, get Marco's large grilled chicken Florentine or any of our specialty chicken pizzas for just $12.99. Order online at marcos.com.
You guys did a great job on my computer. Can you fix this?
We do work on cell phones. We fix tablets and game consoles. Yeah, we can fix that. What happened?
I don't know.
The best prices and the best service. Quality Computer Systems has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, call the Downey Law Firm in Macon, Georgia. Attorney Jason Downey focuses on personal injury matters and it's fought to recover millions of dollars for his clients. The Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Visit their website today, DowneyLawGA.com, or give them a call at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Hey guys, I know that we can sit around and talk about football and firearms and hunting all day long, but right now I want to speak to the ladies in the audience. The fastest growing segment of firearm purchasers and owners in our country is now women. So ladies, when it comes time for you to make a decision about your first or your next firearm purchase, trust the staff at Classic Firearms. Located at 3780 Northside Drive, just across from the Wellness Center, let Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff assist you in this very important decision. From firearms to ammunition to accessories, trust the fine folks at Classic Firearms. Call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports. Welcome back to Gridiron Gab. It's time for the Classic Firearms Pigskin Pick'em Contest. Call right now with your pick of this week's game. And welcome back to Gridiron Gab on a Thursday night here on DSBN Sports. And we also want to remind you that tomorrow night it's our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. It's a big matchup in Single A as the Red Devils of Lincoln County roll into Macon to take on Mark Faribault and the Stratford Eagles, and that'll be live tomorrow night. We'll do our pregame about 7:15. Kickoff is at 7:30, and we're excited to tell you we will be live in HD for all our shows and all our broadcasts from here on out. Don't forget, next Thursday night, we'll leave the friendly confines of U Parkham, U Salem, and we'll be on Riverside Drive at the Marco's Pizza location there, live on the deck, and we'll have Gridiron Gab live each and every week from Marco's Pizza. We invite you to come out, sit in with us, talk a little football, eat some great pizza and pasta and sandwiches and everything else. So we're really excited to have Marco's Pizzas on board, and we want to specifically thank some other sponsors that have done so much for us this year. Jason Downey of the Downey Law Firm, of course, they're a sponsor here, and our football show, the post-game wrap-up, the final call, the final verdict, rather, presented by the Downey Law Firm. Quality Computers help us put all the HD production together. We're going to go live with it tomorrow night. Classic Firearms each and every week with us, and, of course, Marco's Pizza. Your chance to win this week. We got $70 worth of prizes to give away. Let's go back to the phones, and let's see who we got here. Who we got?
This is Rick from Mike.
Rick?
We're over here.
Well, we actually won't be there till next Thursday night. We had to work out some issues on getting the phone lines in over there, so we'll be ready to roll next Thursday night. And I appreciate you patronizing Marco's Pizza.
Rick is, I'm a big citizen, and you think we're going to, I think my boss is going to do this today. Personally, I think we're going to be able to.
Well, wait a minute now, Rick. Florida's coming in without their starting quarterback, and they're going to go to a backup, Austin Appleby, who's only thrown 5 passes for the whole year, and for a total of 30 yards. Hey, listen, Tennessee's had problems up front with the offensive line. They had it against App State. They had it against Ohio. They had it for a half against Virginia Tech.
I just think I know faith in my boss.
All right, so you don't think Joshua Dobbs and Jalen Hurd are going to break the streak? Florida's won 11 in a row. You think the Gators are going to make it 12 in a row?
12, and then they're gonna lose 13 again. They definitely gonna get the eyes beat out against when they play Georgia.
Oh man, this sounds like a plant call to me for some dog fan. All right, give me your score because we got about $70 worth of stuff we're going to give away this week, and you can get qualified for the shotgun we're going to give away at the end of the year. This is one of the last 2 weeks to get qualified for this, and our pick'em contest is Florida and Tennessee this week.
Florida 48, Tennessee 14.
48-14. Your poor friend is sitting there that's a real Tennessee fan is not going to be happy with you, is he?
Well, that's all right, too.
All right, so what are your dogs going to do against Ole Miss and Oxford?
Well, we're gonna get the W, man. Jacob Beach is the real deal.
Well, so
we're gonna pull that game out 28-24.
28-24. They'll be playing the best defense they played all year. And so Jacob Eason, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, huh?
Of course, man. They told that Jake Fromm something like.
What are you going to do next year when Fromm shows up?
Play both of them.
Play both of them. Well, you better get something done with your offensive line to start with, because if you can't run the football when you start playing better teams, it ain't going to be pretty.
Kirby's got recruits on the way, man.
I got a little Nick Saban 2.0, right?
And appreciate the call, man.
All right, well, I'm glad I was able to get in touch with you. All right, so Rick picks Florida 48-14. So back to the phones we'll go here in a minute. Your calls for the Pick'em contest, 478-254-6310. As we said, next week we will be at the deck on Riverside Drive at the Marco's Pizza location, and we will head over to the location on Zebulon Road tonight when we wrap up the show for our post-game meal. We'd love for you to join us out there as well, too. The other exciting thing we're going to have on Friday nights at Riverside and Zebulon Road is you're going to be able to watch our Gridiron Game of the Week each and every Friday night on their large screen TVs. So we're excited about having that interaction going on at Marco's, too. We'll have that going next week. We'll have the show live on their TVs, and we'll also have our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week on Friday night live at their facility as well, too. So we're looking forward to the partnership that we've got from them, and we want to thank Quality Computers for helping us, Brad Spiegel and his guys over at Quality Computers for helping us get everything done to bring you HD broadcast. So the big game tomorrow night, Stratford and Lincoln County. Tonight we're talking a little bit of Georgia and Ole Miss. We haven't touched on Auburn and LSU. That's probably the only other game besides Arkansas and Texas A&M that people are going to be really keyed into this week as we go back over the schedule here as I drop my mouse on the ground. The Georgia-Ole Miss game is the early game. That's 12 o'clock kickoff, 11 o'clock their time. Kent State goes to Alabama. That'll be practice game for Nick Saban and the boys. Mississippi State, the Dogs take on UMass, which won't be anything unless it was a basketball game. Florida and Tennessee, 3:30 on CBS. Delaware State takes on Missouri. Vandy is at Western Kentucky. Vanderbilt better be careful in that one. LSU and Auburn kicks off at 6 o'clock. South Carolina and Kentucky, don't see Kentucky getting that game done. They've just not played well this year at all. And then Arkansas and A&M, that's really, to me, that's going to give you who's going to be the contender against Alabama in the West. If anybody's going to come out of that game as a contender, it's going to be Texas A&M or Arkansas. I'm picking the Hogs in that one. And that is a 9 o'clock kickoff game on ESPN as well. But we're taking your calls. Our Classic Firearms Pick'em contest this week is Florida and Tennessee. The Gators go up with an injured football team to take on the Tennessee Vols after they beat them 11 years in a row. Can they make it a cool dozen? We'll take some timeouts. We'll come back and get more of your calls. 478-254-6310. It's the Classic Firearms Pick'em contest, Florida and Tennessee, right here on DSPN Sports on Gridiron Gab. We'll be back.
It's a pepperoni celebration. Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico Pizza. Made with two kinds of mouth-watering pepperoni. Zesty Classic and our authentic thick-cut Old World. Cooked till the edges curl in crispy perfection. And for big flavor in every bite, the crust is finished with garlic butter, spices, and Parmesan cheese.
At Quality Computers, we're known for our service, whether locally for our in-store and on-site service, or nationally with our remote service or Quality Care Suite. But we also have the largest selection of computers in stock in Middle Georgia, whether that is new desktops or new laptops, or refurbished desktops and laptops. We also carry all-in-ones and convertibles.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
I've always wanted this. You have too. It's waiting to be unleashed.
It's in all of us. You just have to find it. Greatness. It's where your dreams and passions become reality.
Greatness is where your hard work and dedication paid off. Greatness. It's shaking hands with your future. Middle Georgia State University. Find your greatness.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue. The Macon Touchdown Club begins its 71st season on September the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue. Join us again this year as we celebrate football, fun, and fellowship. Among our featured speakers this year will be former Georgia head coach Ray Goff, former Virginia Tech legend Frank Beamer, University of Georgia legend Lauren Smith, and former head coach of the Auburn Tigers Pat Dye, along with many others. Each Monday night starting at 6:30, that's the Macon Touchdown Club. Visit us online at MaconTouchdownClub.com.
At Marco's, we're piling on the toppings. Try our award-winning white cheesy pizza, stacked with flavors like feta and bacon. It's white pizza the Marco's way. Or our Meat Supremo, loaded with more Italian meats than you can imagine. With so many toppings, there's never a boring bite.
I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that.
I can fix that.
Can you fix this?
I can fix that.
For the best service on your desktop and laptop computers, from hardware to software problems, Quality Computer Systems always has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
The Downey Law Firm understands what happens when you've been injured in a car wreck. Attorney Jason Downey used to work for insurance companies, and he's helped injured victims obtain millions of dollars for their injuries. Whether you're in Macon, Valdosta, Atlanta, or anywhere in between, the Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Give them a call today at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Well, it's football time in the South, and that means we're rolling toward the greatest time of the year. No, not just football. It's almost time for hunting season too. And if you're in the market for a new rifle, there's no better place than Classic Firearms, located at 3780 Northside Drive, right here in Macon, across from the Wellness Center. Whether you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a new concealed carry pistol, now is the time to go see Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff at Classic Firearms. They have everything from weapons to accessories to ammunition. So call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports. Welcome back to Gridiron Gab. It's time for the Classic Firearms Pigskin Pick'em Contest. Call right now with your pick of this week's game. And welcome back to Gridiron Gab here on DSBN Sports. We once again want to thank all of our sponsors this week: Marco's Pizza, Quality Computers, Classic Firearms, the Downey Law Firm, Middle Georgia Touchdown, the Macon Touchdown Club, Kudzu Seafood, BT Media Productions, you park them, you sell them, Twang's Restaurant, and, of course, BT Media Productions and Middle Georgia State University. Don't forget, our Pick'em contest for the Classic Firearms Pick'em is this week is Florida and Tennessee, taking your calls for a few more minutes here on the show. We'll be live tomorrow night from Stratford Academy for our Marco's Pizza Gridiron Game of the Week. It will be Lincoln County as they come in 2-0-1. They have beaten Grovetown, which was ranked in 6A, and then they beat the number one team in 2A out of South Carolina. Rather, they tied them 7-7 last week. That game did not go to overtime as predetermined by the coaches. Of course, Coach Banks, who was our guest tonight, we appreciate him coming on from Lincoln County and being part of the show. So that game tomorrow night, 7:15. Pregame, 7:30 is our kickoff. It'll be our first broadcast in full HD. We hope you join us. Want to remind you again, next Thursday night we'll leave You Park and You Sell 'em, and we will be doing the show live from the Marco's Pizza on Riverside Drive out there on their deck or inside if it's inclement weather. But we invite you to come out and enjoy some pizza with us, some sandwiches and hot wings and all the other great things that they have at Marco's Pizza. And we want to thank Quality Computers again for all the hard work that Brad Spiegel and his Spiegel and his people did over at Quality Computers over the last couple of weeks to get us ready to go HD with our broadcast. We are talking Georgia and Ole Miss. It's our early kickoff, 11 o'clock their time in the Grove. Dogs are going to face their best defense and probably the best offense, both that they've seen so far this year. I think North Carolina had a pretty good defense. I don't think they're as good this year as they were last year. But Ole Miss can certainly play defense, even though they've given up some points in two of their games. The Ole Miss offense can strike at will. I think they're going to be a challenge. Chad Kelly's going to be a challenge for the Georgia secondary. I think it's important for Georgia to be able to run the football against Ole Miss, and they have yet to be able to do that consistently this year with their offensive line. So I know that's what Kirby Smart, based on what we've heard him speak about this year, he knows what he's got to do with his rushing attack and get Nick Chubb back on track. Jacob Eason, big game last week. He throws the game winner for Georgia with just a few seconds left on the clock. Come from behind victory against Ole Miss and got it done. Just as the struggle against Nicholls State the week before was probably one of the better things that happened to a young ball club for Georgia. I think for the young quarterback, that was a big boost for him last week, and his confidence will continue to grow, but he'll face a huge task in Oxford on Saturday morning when they go play the Ole Miss Rebels. Our Classic Firearms Pick'em contest, of course, is Tennessee and Florida. We want to talk about that. We're going to skip over and talk about one other game, and they come in at 2-1. It's the LSU Tigers as they come to Auburn Jordan-Hare Stadium to play Auburn. Auburn reverted back last week to their rather anemic offensive performance after putting up 702 yards a week before. It seemed like they had turned the corner maybe after the Clemson game where they had all kind of problems on offense, and against Texas A&M last week, the same problems showed up from the sidelines and on the field for Auburn. So Les Miles, another one of those coaches coming into Auburn on the hot seat. Gus Malzahn is surely on the hot seat at Auburn. LSU is going to come in with Leonard Fournette, who's been banged up after that Wisconsin game. He's only rushed for 285 yards this year. This year so far, he's got 2 touchdowns, but he should be healthy for that game. So once again, just like last week with Kevin Sumlin and Gus Malzahn, you've got Les Miles and the LSU Tigers. Les getting a lot of angst thrown at his way with Brandon Harris, who's really been ineffective at quarterback. He was replaced last week with Danny Etling, and he has come in. He's now thrown for 315 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. I believe he was certainly more effective getting the starting job last week in their game against Mississippi State. I really thought Mississippi State would go into Baton Rouge last Saturday night and pull out a victory. It was a close game, and the LSU Tigers found a way to win. They absolutely destroyed and embarrassed the Auburn Tigers in Baton Rouge last year. So it's going to be an interesting night on the Plains between Auburn and LSU. Sean White has once again the starter for Auburn, but he's only thrown for 3 touchdowns. Auburn is yet to get the rushing game on track, shall we say. So they got play calling problems at Auburn. They got red zone problems at Auburn. Gus Malzahn making $4.75 million a year. He is catching the heat. Montgomery Advertiser, the big newspaper over there, ran an article on Tuesday about his buyout. Right now it would stand, if he stays at Auburn through 2020, it'll be $23.75 million. His buyout right now is a little under $9 million, but with the coaches, it would be close to what they had to pay Gene Chizik and his staff, which was right at $12 million. They did that in 2012. They just finished paying him at the start of this year. I don't know if Auburn wants to go that direction, but the Auburn people are not very happy with what's going on the plains of Alabama. And another big week for Gus Malzahn. He loses this week. He goes to 1-3, and a very difficult rest of the season ahead for Auburn and Gus Malzahn. Same thing could be said against Les Miles. If he comes into Auburn and drops to an Auburn team that is pretty much back on his heels right now, things are not going to be easy for Les Miles and Baton Rouge. So that is a big game for both of those coaches this weekend. Tennessee and Florida. The Gators have won 11 in a row. That is our Classic Firearms Pick'em contest. We're going to take a couple of breaks. We'll come back, try to get in 1 or 2 more picks. Call us right now, 478-254-6310. It's Tennessee and Florida. That's what we're picking for the prizes this week. Your calls. You're listening to Gridiron Gab on DSBNsports.com. We'll be back after this timeout.
You wanted it back, so we're bringing it back. Marco's Grilled Chicken Florentine Pizza. We start with dough made fresh in our stores every day. Then top it with Parmesan garlic sauce, grilled chicken, 4 cheeses, including feta, and of course, garden fresh spinach. For a limited time, get Marco's large grilled chicken Florentine or any of our specialty chicken pizzas for just $12.99. Order online at marcos.com.
You guys did a great job on my computer. Can you fix this?
We do work on cell phones. We fix tablets and game consoles. Yeah, we can fix that. What happened?
I don't know.
The best prices and the best service. Quality Computer Systems has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, call the Downey Law Firm in Macon, Georgia. Attorney Jason Downey focuses on personal injury matters and it's fought to recover millions of dollars for his clients. The Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Visit their website today, DowneyLawGA.com, or give them a call at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Hey guys, I know that we can sit around and talk about football and firearms and hunting all day long, but right now I want to speak to the ladies in the audience. The fastest growing segment of firearm purchasers and owners in our country is now women. So ladies, when it comes time for you to make a decision about your first or your next firearm purchase, trust the staff at Classic Firearms. Located at 3780 Northside Drive, just across from the Wellness Center, let Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff assist you in this very important decision. From firearms to ammunition to accessories, trust the fine folks at Classic Firearms. Call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports.
It's a pepperoni celebration. Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico Pizza. Made with 2 kinds of mouth-watering pepperoni. Zesty Classic and our authentic thick-cut Old World. Cooked till the edges curl in crispy perfection. And for big flavor in every bite, the crust is finished with garlic butter, spices, and Parmesan cheese.
At Quality Computers, we're known for our service. whether locally for our in-store and on-site service, or nationally with our remote service or quality care suite. But we also have the largest selection of computers in stock in Middle Georgia, whether that is new desktops or new laptops, or refurbished desktops and laptops. We also carry all-in-ones and convertibles.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
I've always wanted this. You have too. It's waiting to be unleashed.
It's in all of us to find it. Greatness. It's where your dreams and passions become reality.
Greatness is where your hard work and dedication paid off. Greatness. It's shaking hands with your future. Middle Georgia State University. Find your greatness.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue. The Macon Touchdown Club begins its 71st season on September the 6th at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue. Join us again this year as we celebrate football, fun, and fellowship. Among our featured speakers this year will be former Georgia head coach Ray Goff, former Virginia Tech legend Frank Beamer, University of Georgia legend Lauren Smith, and former head coach of the Auburn Tigers Pat Dye, along with many others. Each Monday night starting at 6:30, that's the Macon Touchdown Club. Visit us online at MaconTouchdownClub.com.
At Marco's, we're piling on the toppings. Try our award-winning white cheesy pizza, stacked with flavors like feta and bacon. It's white pizza the Marco's way. Or our Meat Supremo, loaded with more Italian meats than you can imagine. With so many toppings, there's never a boring bite.
I can fix that! I can fix that! I can fix that! I can fix that! I can fix that!
I can fix that.
Can you fix this?
I can fix that.
For the best service on your desktop and laptop computers, from hardware to software problems, Quality Computer Systems always has you covered.
All professionals, no geeks, quality computer systems.
The Downey Law Firm understands what happens when you've been injured in a car wreck. Attorney Jason Downey used to work for insurance companies, and he's helped injured victims obtain millions of dollars for their injuries. Whether you're in Macon, Valdosta, Atlanta, or anywhere in between, the Downey Law Firm handles cases throughout the entire state of Georgia. Give them a call today at 478-974-1738. The Downey Law Firm, making sure things are fair in the legal world. Well, it's football time in the South, and that means we're rolling toward the greatest time of the year. No, not just football. It's almost time for hunting season 2. And if you're in the market for a new rifle, there's no better place than Classic Firearms, located at 3780 Northside Drive, right here in Macon, across from the Wellness Center. Whether you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a new concealed carry pistol, now is the time to go see Buddy Webb and his knowledgeable staff at Classic Firearms. They have everything from weapons to accessories to ammunition. So call them today at 478-257-6655 or visit them online at classicfirearmsga.com and tell them you heard about it on DSBN Sports. Now, let's head back to the stadium for our post-game wrap-up, presented by the Downey Law Firm, and get the final verdict on this game. And welcome back as we wrap up the show on another Thursday night here live from You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, the car lot for you. As we come back and we're going to get the final verdict on this show, brought to you by the Downey Law Firm. And tonight we had a lot of discussion about Georgia and Ole Miss and Georgia and Missouri. We've had plenty of discussion about our Classic Firearms Pick'em contest this week. Florida goes up to Knoxville with an 11-game winning streak, but they're going to have to do it without Luke Del Rio. Can the Gators defense, which has been a stalwart all year, get it done up in Knoxville? For the Tennessee Volunteers and Butch Jones, well, a little bit of a hot seat for him as he needs to get Tennessee on the winning side of this series. Like we said, just to review, 11 of his 21 wins at Tennessee so far have come against teams with below 500 records, and against ranked top 25 AP teams, he is 3-13. Joshua Dobbs and Jalen Hurd have got to get it done this week for the Volunteers and Butch Jones. They're going to have to do it without the possible starters. 3 starters on defense: linebacker Darren Kirkland, Jalen Reeves-Maben, and Cameron Sutton. May all 3 be back, so a little depletion on the Tennessee side of the ball. I want to remind you once again that tomorrow night our Marco's Pizza Gridiron game of the week will be the Stratford Eagles taking on the Lincoln County Red Devils, as Lincoln County comes into Macon for only the second time since 1976. So it's going to be a good game against 2-1 Lincoln County and 2-1 Stratford Academy. They may be 3-1. I may be mistaken on that. But we're looking forward to bringing that game to you tomorrow. Live tomorrow night in HD, thanks to Quality Computers. It'll be the Marco's Pizza Gridiron game of the week. One more time, we want to thank all of our sponsors. Marco's Pizza, obviously, Quality Computers, Classic Firearms for the Classic Firearms Pick'em contest, the Downey Law Firm, making things fair in the legal world and giving us the final verdict on this show today. You Park 'em, you sell 'em. Kudzu Seafood, Twang's Restaurant, Macon Touchdown Club, BT Media Productions, and Middle Georgia State University. One more time, I want to remind you, Monday night, our guest speaker at the Macon Touchdown Club at the Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue will be Tyson Summers, the head coach of the undefeated Georgia Southern Eagles, as he'll come in to talk to us about the Eagles and their season for this year. We'll also have our high school spotlight school, and we'll give away our Macon Touchdown Club. Back in Lineman of the Week, always a lot of fun. Come join us, 6:30 at Methodist Children's Home on Pierce Avenue. Guests are only $30. Dinner starts at 6:30 with our program soon to follow. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. We're going to head to Marco's Pizza on Zebulon Road and get some something to eat. We'll see you tomorrow night. We want to thank the head coach from Lincoln County for joining us tonight, Kevin Banks, and we'll see him tomorrow night as well. Don't forget, next Thursday night, live from Marco's Pizza on the deck at Riverside Drive. That's going to do it. We'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. Our time is up. We thank you for yours.